in. All right, we are going to let everyone in here. Hello, hello. So excited for today. Oh my gosh, you all are in for such a treat. I'm going to give a quick introduction to who this incredible guest is today that we are honored to have presenting. And then I'm going to turn it over to her because I have learned so much in such a short amount of time from Cheri, and you are going to want to take notes, listen in. So I think many of you may have heard Cheri's interview on She Sells Radio. For those of you who are on camera, give me a nod or a yes if you heard that, because it was an amazing interview. Let me actually I need to turn off the waiting room at this point. But so Cheri is someone who I had the pleasure of meeting back in June, and I'd actually heard of her and her work before that. And I met her at a conference and was just blown away by the level of depth to which she teaches sales personality training at a whole different level than I've ever learned it. And she came on and shared on the podcast just a couple of weeks ago about this groundbreaking system bank that she developed, which helped her, and I know she'll talk about it today, quantum leap her sales. And we are all about the quantum leap in this community. And she's the real deal too. So I know she'll share a little bit of her backstory, and you're going to really learn a deep dive into the system today. But what I'm so excited about, and why in particular I wanted to bring this to you, is that I know by very nature of you being in this community, you care about your clients, you care about your customers, you want to serve people, and you also are a high achiever, right? You want to get great results. And it is so important for women and men and people who care deeply about serving their clients in a real way, the way that you do, to be able to sell and be able to convert. And so this system, it's like a secret superpower that's going to help you supercharge and accelerate your sales results. And we've been working on rolling it out to the community. I personally am signed up to work with Cheri in her influencer program. So we'll talk a little bit more about that today as well. But this is going to help you create dramatic increases in your sales conversations and your results from what you learned today. So Cheri, we're so excited to have you. I'll let you take it from here.
Awesome. Thank you, Elyse. It's so amazing to be here. And hi, ladies. Very nice to meet you. I would love for this to be interactive. I want to get to know you real quick before I even jump in. If you wouldn't mind, in the chat box, tell me where you're from and what business or industry that you're in. Okay, so I'd love to see that. I'm personally in Laguna Beach, California, Southern California, and I'm married. I have a little 3-year-old son. I'm 51 and I gave birth at 48, if you can imagine. I know I'm crazy, but I'll show you. Look, we're getting ready to move to a new home. I guess I was going to show you a cute little picture of him. Well, maybe I have one on my phone while you're putting it in the chat box. So type into the chat if you would. And I'll pull up a cute little picture. This was Kai yesterday. We were visiting some friends and he decided he was going to try to play the piano. He's so cute. So, oh, wow. Denmark. Okay. In you serve females in life sciences, Denver, Colorado, enterprise SaaS sales. Excellent. North Canton, Ohio, marketing services. Hello. And Elyse, is that right? And Camila Brooke. Kayla, Cincinnati, Ohio, network marketing. Awesome. Brandy, Fort Wayne, insurance. Excellent. Kathleen, Southern California. Actually, I'm going to introduce you to Kathleen in a little bit. She's already someone using Bank, and I want her to share her experience with you. Lisa from Kansas City. You're in licenses and P&C Life and Health. Okay, insurance. Seattle, support authors and writing coach. Bridget. Hey, go Phillies. Nursing education and copywriting. Carrie from Ohio. Pre-need funeral insurance sales. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Stephanie from Alabama, virtual administrative assistant, VA. Ray, music, rentals, and design. Thank you. Amy from Mississippi, a life and mindset coach. Awesome. Karina, Chicago, financial services. I just wanted to call you each out and just acknowledge the fact that you're here. This is a very nice, small, intimate audience. And I want to thank Elyse because I I got to speak at the same conference that she did at the Women of Insurance. And interestingly, I got my start in business and sales, entrepreneurship in the insurance financial services industry. And I'll kind of share my story, but I spoke at that same conference. And I remember meeting Elyse and feeling impressed and how wonderful it is that someone is specializing, especially helping women in business achieve more results. You know, we're excellent in the home and raising children and taking care of our spouses and probably multitasking like nobody's business. But, you know, a lot of times women in business are the ones that sometimes get ignored or left behind. And it's been a traditionally very man's world. And so when I met Elyse with her She Sells focus and mentorship programs, I knew there was an amazing alignment in the future. And so Elyse, I just want to acknowledge you and thank you for looking into what we have and how we can help all of your clients accelerate their results more. So ladies, one more thing before I jump in, I'd like to ask, what is the #1 outcome that you'd like to get from our webinar together? If you wouldn't mind, type that into the chat box. What is the #1 outcome that you would like to get or learn today by us being together for this quick webinar? Type that into the chat box. I just want to make sure that we're aligned with what we're all doing here today. What is it that you want to get out of this webinar? Because time is very valuable and we certainly don't want to waste any of it. All right, Elyse, of course, you want to master bank at a deeper level. Okay, great. Some of you are like, what is this bank thing? We're going to go into it. Debbie, a deeper understanding of people. Right on target. Let's see. Brandy, build closer relationships with my insurance advisors. Excellent. Bridget, how to assess a person's bank type quickly. You're going to learn that. Less than 90 seconds and even nanoseconds. I'll show you that. A better understanding of how to convert more aligned clients. Thank you, Valerie. I don't know how to say your name. Akanisli, maybe. Hopefully I didn't ruin it. You said to hear more about the bank process. Thank you. Kayla, better understanding of people I'm working with, feel more aligned. Yes. Lisa, better understanding of people and then overcoming their objections. Perfect. Mitchell, meeting you for the first time and interested in learning more about what it is that you do. Yes, thank you. Teresa, would love your insight on client mindset and better communication, conversion for sure. Yes. And Ray, alignment. Okay. So the good news is we are aligned. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in. This webinar is going to take, let's say, carve out 75 minutes or so. I might go 15 minutes past the top of the hour. And I just want to make sure that we can cover the content and answer any questions that you may have. But I promise that every morsel that I'm about to share with you has the power to transform your reality in business and maybe even in life. So let me go ahead and I'll share my screen. And we will get started. All right, so this is me. Cheri Tree is my name. Codebreaker Technologies is our company. And we've had the honor to be featured with some pretty amazing publications, organizations. We've brought our bank methodology to companies like Google. I've taught it at Harvard University and even been asked to keynote at the United Nations. So how is this even possible? Well, what I discovered was a secret. And what I'm going to share with you today is the secret behind how to make people matter and ultimately how to crack the code to increasing your influence that you have with people in your world personally and professionally, your income and how to put a lot more money in the bank, and of course, your impact that you're making here in the world. And I want to start off by sharing a quick little video that will show you a little of the behind the scenes of who we are and what we do. There's 6,500 foreign languages spoken in the world, but we believe only one language has the power to unite and connect the human race. We call that language BANK. And BANK is a methodology that we created, which is personality-based. It's rooted in the principles of the 4 personality types, dating back thousands of years, with a very powerful modern-day twist that, when applied to business and relationship, creates extraordinary results.
The #1 problem is people want to make more money and they don't know how. So they have a problem actually connecting with their prospect, their lead, their customer, the person across from them. We teach them how to communicate more effectively and figure out their personality type, and then how to get a better connection, and it automatically leads when people like you, they want to buy your product.
What we specifically do for our clients is we teach them how to increase their influence, their income, and their impact up to 300%.
It's opened doors that I didn't even know existed. I immediately saw the impact that it could have in education.
Not only has it increased my income, but it has absolutely changed my impact and my influence.
BANKCODE is an amazing technology that you can use to find out about other people rather than just yourself. I'm communicating better with my friends, my family, my clients.
Getting to yes sooner, getting to what matters to the person sooner by just listening to what they value.
And really just gave me an opportunity to connect with people in a much different way.
Making it a win-win-win for all the people involved.
It's literally lighting a fire inside of me that I didn't know I had.
And it was really a no-brainer for me.
There's a lot of assessments that are in the market. Ours is unique originally because most every other assessment was based in psychology, whereas Bank was based in what we call biology, spelled B-U-Y-ology, which was the science of buying behavior, or what we now understand as buy-in behavior. It's the science of communication. So it gave us a very unique ability to predict someone's buying behavior in less than 90 seconds, and now in nanoseconds using our Codebreaker artificial intelligence. So if you want to learn more and you want to come join our Make People Matter movement, you want to discover more about yourself and your personality, come visit us at codebreakerglobal.com. Codebreaker Global, make people matter. Okay, so that gives you a little insight. And I want to start off with this. As each of you are growing your respective businesses, you know, we're based in personality science, and a study was done by the Cheri Group where they said, I wonder if personality types matter in the sales process. And here's what they published. They said only 18% of your buyers will buy from a salesperson, meaning you, who doesn't match the buyer's personality type, versus 82% success rate when personality types are aligned. So ladies, what I'm going to be taking you through is how do you align and match your personality style with the person that's in front of you, whether they're your prospect and lead, whether they're your client, whether they're your spouse or whomever. And in the business application, how can this help you potentially triple your sales conversion? That's the secret of what I'm going to be teaching you. I'm going to unlock the secret to ultra high performance. And so start thinking about if your desired income is 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, or maybe even 7-figure incomes. If you're looking to boost significantly your income, I want you to type yes into the chat box. Okay, we're going to be interactive today. Type yes into the chat box if you would love to boost significantly your income and get it up into the 6, multiple 6, or maybe even 7 figures. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with how possible it becomes using Bank. Now, what is Bank? Quite simply, it's the art and science of influence. We have deconstructed a model that is thousands of years old, making it easier than ever before to use and apply in the sales process and in engaging with your clients in a way that creates a positive yes outcome. Bank, if we're deconstructing it a little bit further, what is it? Bank is personality based, meaning it's rooted in the principles of the 4 personality types. I'll take you through that today. Bank is profit focused because we actually want you to make a lot more money. There's no shame in making more money. And money is what keeps the world funded and all of the initiatives and causes that you personally are passionate about. Bank is people-centered because at the core of every relationship, personally and professionally, is another human being. We're going to teach you how to optimize those communications in a magnificent way. And Bank is purpose-driven because we believe that we're here to help people achieve far more than financial results, but to create greater impact in their world. For us personally, as an organization, our mission is to connect and empower humanity. And if we can do that with Elyse and her group of She Sells and now soon He Sells, I don't know if that's really what you're calling it, Elyse, but you're now introducing men to this amazing group. How can we really empower you to live your best life and to be extremely financially successful at the same time. And our mantra as an organization is make people matter. And you'll find out that this is the secret that separates a code breaker from every other person in business that is not using our systems. Now, I wrote the book called Why They Buy. And in today's webinar, I'm going to take you through what I call the secrets, the science, and the system that can supercharge your results up to 300%. And specifically, I'm going to deconstruct how is it possible that you can get 300% more results without working harder, without spending more money on lead generation and marketing efforts, and without kind of burning the candle at both ends. I'm actually going to show you how to make more money in less time so that you actually get a lot more of your time back, plus more money in the bank. And I want you to type yes into the chat box if you want to make more money and have more time. Because those of you that have families and you're very busy with a lot of things that you have in life, time is just as important as money. And I believe that true wealth is having both. Okay, so let's jump in. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, he said the ability to sell is the #1 skill in business. And then this is where Elyse comes in to help you sell, to help you get better. And this is not something that you want to be afraid of or shy away from. But sales doesn't have to be a dirty word. Sales doesn't have to be something negative or creepy or manipulative. Sales is your ability to influence your customer and to help them make a decision that is in their best interest. And if you represent a product, a service, or an opportunity that in fact improves and impacts their life, then the only failure is the failure to close the sale if you cannot do that. And so sales became something very, very important. And yet what I have found is that traditional sales training, unfortunately, has been misguiding us and misleading us and actually brainwashing us into believing one of the greatest lies ever told, which is that sales is a numbers game. And I want you to ask yourself if you've ever heard that before, right? And how many times have you heard that in order to get more yeses, you have to get more no's? No. And we've all heard that one too, right? Yeah, you can't even help but just want to shout it out because we've been so programmed to go for no. And for 5 years, I was stuck in this trap of going for no and just spinning my wheels and feeling so frustrated. No matter how hard I worked, I couldn't cross that $100,000 income threshold. Until I woke up one day and said, actually, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because the truth is, in order to get more yeses, you actually have to get more yeses. So what I'm going to teach you today is the secret, the science, and the system to getting more yeses. And again, I want you to type yes in the chat box if you want to get more yeses. Type yes into the chat box. Declare it with the group right here. Okay. I want to see all of you type yes into the chat box. Unless you're driving, then of course, be careful. Pull over. What I'm about to share with you is worth really paying attention to. This could transform your entire career and quite possibly your whole future. Okay. So the secret that I'm going to reveal starting out of the gate here is that sales is not a numbers game, ladies. It is a people game. And I've got great news for you. If you can master the game of people, you can put all of the numbers into your favor and into your bank account. Okay. This system that I'm introducing you to took me from someone's who could make 6 figures to suddenly making multiple 7 figures. And I became very passionate about teaching it. So I want to share with you my before story so that you can understand the power of the after story. For my first 5 years, I share with you, I really struggled. I was a financial advisor selling financial investments, insurance programs, etc. My first year, I crushed it. I made $700 bucks. Like that was my whole year income. I was terrible. And over a 5-year period, I studied everything I could to get better. I read books, I listened to audio programs, I attended seminars, I hired coaches. I did everything that you guys are doing. And I did improve. I got my income up to $72,000. But I was so frustrated because at this point, I'm 5 years into my career. I'm $30,000 in credit card debt, renting an apartment, couldn't qualify for a home loan, and driving a salvage title, broken BMW, playing the fake it till you make it game. And I felt so out of integrity because I'm supposed to be selling you on financial freedom. And yet I felt like I was living my financial nightmare. And I remember this quote from Robert Kiyosaki where he said, stop taking advice from people more messed up than you. And I thought, my word, you know, I have no business telling people how to make money and create financial independence and wealth when I'm so freaking broke. So it was at this moment where I decided to take a few steps back and really figure out, like, am I broken? Maybe I'm not cut out for running a business or being in sales. Maybe I should just go back and get a job. But I didn't want to. In my heart, I wanted to figure this out. I wanted to crack this code. And in taking a few steps back, I was able to actually figure out where the problem was in telling us to go for no, and how to hack it and turn it into the best thing I ever discovered, which is how to go for yes. And this is where I invented the bank system. In one single year using bank, my income skyrocketed to over $500,000. And my time working reduced from 60 to 80 hours a week down to 20 to 30 hours a week. So my income went up 7x. And I want you to type 7x into the chat box if you would love to experience a 7x increase in your income in the next 12 months. Type 7x into that chat box. Okay, blow up that thread with 7x's, because who wouldn't want to do that? If there's a legitimate hack, if there's a reason Google brings me in, Harvard brings me in, the United Nations brings me in, it's possible that I have a hack that works. And over a 3-year period, it kept working. And now my income was over that $1 million mark. And my whole world changed. I started getting published in magazines. And by the way, no, I'm not the lady in the red dress. I always talk about how dreams come true. That one never worked out. I'm way too tomboy for that. But I am the one in the middle, and it's highlighting my income here at 2.9 million and climbing. And I want you to imagine for a moment what your life could be like if you had this type of money coming in for you and your family. And I hear people say all the time, money doesn't buy you happiness. There's another lie. It's not true. Money buys so much happiness, okay? You fly and travel around the world. You do whatever you want. You live life on your terms. You can help people in need. There's extraordinary happiness when you have resources to do things that create abundance instead of scarcity, okay? And of course, we all know money isn't everything. I get that. But I wanted to help my clients get a lot more of it, myself included, because we all deserve to experience financial freedom and wealth. And I think that's part of why we're here. And as I had my success story, what happened was people who knew me kept asking me to share my secrets. And I want you to type the word secret in the chat box. If you knew me and we were friends, type secret if you would want to know my secret. If you would be willing to invite me to lunch, your treat, just to be able to pick my brain or rent my brain to find out what is it that I'm doing where I couldn't make 6 figures and all of a sudden I'm making 7 and multiple 7 figures. Would you take me to lunch? Would you slow down your day for a couple of hours to figure out, what did I figure out? What is it that I know that you want and need to know? And if that's you, then that's why I'm here. I'm here for you, okay? The person who's willing to invest some of their time and some of their money to figuring out this secret. And as my secret started to spread, it started to really spread into some of the greatest conferences in the world. So I was speaking now on stage with people like Tony Robbins, Susie Orman, Robert and Kim Kiyosaki, Steve Wozniak from Apple, Les Brown, and even Sir Richard Branson. And these are just a handful of the millionaires and billionaires who said, we want you to come speak in front of our audiences and share your secrets. And ladies, this is what gave birth to Bank and our code breaker movement. We've got more than 300,000 people around the world that have cracked their code and getting access to our methodology. And that's why Elyse is bringing this to you, so that you're not left behind. I wrote the book called Why They Buy. I'm going to strongly recommend that you get a copy of it. And matter of fact, today I'm going to show you how to get a gift copy of it from me. Today, let's stick around here till the end. So there's been a lot of studies that said, is this bank methodology legit? Like, is this scientifically validated? And a team of researchers conducted several different studies and published our white papers. And they came back and said, this is the only methodology in the world that's been scientifically validated to predict buying behavior in less than 90 seconds. And this has created extraordinary results. Now, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a moment because I have someone on here very special named Kathleen. And before I go into the next piece of the webinar, first of all, give me a thumbs up if you're on video, if you're already leaning into liking these ideas, right? Like if there's a legitimate hack. Kathleen is a client of Codebreaker, right? She's using the bank methodology and she's got an appointment she needs to run to, but she's helping me to mentor Elyse and to bring the She Sells community into access to bank. I want you to hear from her firsthand before she has to leave our webinar, what bank has done for her and her business. So Kathleen, if you wouldn't mind coming out here, let's take a quick little break. I can't hear you. You're on mute. Yep.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Elyse, for hosting this event. And Cheri, thank you so much for sharing your system with us. And congratulations to everybody who's on here has the opportunity to learn directly from you with it. It's such a honor for me to just be talking to you about what it's done for my family and my business. I've been in sales most of my life. I've run multiple businesses. As a matter of fact, I know many of you are in the insurance business. I used to be a State Farm insurance agent. My husband and I right now are running and managing a construction company. And when I was introduced to bank, I was really looking at it as a way to help my salespeople convert their sales systems and really look for something that was duplicatable that we could take and share. And since using bank, we studied Cheri's systems. We subscribed to the tools that she's going to introduce you today. We started cracking the codes of our customer. And what it did, it helped us shorten the sales cycle to where we took our close rate from, we were closing about 25 to 30% to where now we are closing 40, 50% of all of our appointments that we're running, because we're able to connect with that customer quicker and sooner. And we learned the triggers and the tripwires based on the individual's personality that is revealed in a lot of the sales training and tools resources that Codebreakers and the teams offered. And just alone in our business, it has put us in a position where we're on pace to generate more than $500,000 of additional revenue just from the incremental gains from our salespeople having the tools to have a higher conversion rate of those opportunities. And for me, it was just a no-brainer to really make sure that everybody on my team was indoctrinated into it, because I could see the success they were having for our company, but also in their personal paychecks, because when they sell more, they make more. And then as a business, we're able to be healthier and to provide a better environment for them. So thank you, Cheri, again, for sharing this with me. And if anybody's looking for additional information, I'm happy to talk to anybody about how we're using it in all aspects, not only in the sales process, but also in the attraction and marketing, because we realized we were speaking to one audience. And we, as a result of bank and understanding personalities, we really revised a lot of our marketing, power scripting, communication strategies based on what we're learning from what Cheri's sharing with you today.
Well, Kathleen, thank you for coming out. Like, that's a really powerful story, right? $500,000 of lift since using bank, which is only over the last several months, is pretty massive. And then I'd love for you to share part 2 of your story, which is also awesome because you got so excited you couldn't keep it a secret. So share with them what you did next.
Yeah, so once I saw the methodology and I saw the way the system was working in our business and the way it could really impact others, I wanted to learn, can I teach this and share this with others? How do I do that? So I became not only an influencer, but also a certified trainer and coach so that I could go into small businesses like ours or do one-on-one consultations with people to help them crack the code, help them learn the bank system and really be able to increase their sales and get the yes, avoid the no. What are the triggers and tripwires? And so that was an amazing decision for me. And, just that business aside, I've been working that since like June. And, my commissions from adding that additional revenue piece on to our business generated close to $55,000 in commissions for me, not only in getting hired by companies that are bringing me in to share it with them, but also from referring other trainers and other people who are interested in sharing the methodology with their network. So
Awesome.
it goes well beyond what we've done here in our business. So
Awesome.
thank you.
All right, well, let's all give Kathleen a big high five, thumbs up. Thank you, Kathleen, for coming out here. It's very, very powerful. You know, when you find something that actually works, it's hard to keep it a secret. And that's why I'm thankful for Elyse. I'm thankful for you, Kathleen, and any future code breakers from this. Bridget, I see your enthusiasm. I'd take you to breakfast, lunch, dinner, brunch, and an after party. You sound like my kind of girl. I love it. Okay, so let me get back in here and share why this works. Okay, so I shared with you that I'm going to share the secret. I'm now going to share with you the science behind it. Okay. So the reason that bank works, and it works so consistently every single time you use it, is because it's actually based in science, which is predictable and extremely reliable and validated. The type of science that bank is based in is something called personality science. And this is the idea around the fact that people are different. We are wired differently. And you've probably heard about this, obviously, your whole life. Well, I did not invent this concept. It dates back thousands of years to Hippocrates, known as the father of medicine. He was a Greek philosopher. And what he figured out was that he could take the entire human race, divide us into 4 groups, and then he could treat us with medicine differently just based on what he called our personality temperament. And this is the origin of personality science. Now, when you fast forward to our modern day world, there's been all types of personality assessment models that have been created, and millions of us have taken some or one or some of these personality assessments. Like some of the more popular ones you see here on your screen are DISC, or MBTI, which stands for Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, or the color code, True Colors, Berkman. I mean, there's literally ones that tell you what color you are, what animal you are, what astrology sign you are. I think they're all interesting, right? And in the beginning, when I took these assessments, I'll be honest, I was fascinated with what I learned about myself. But my fascination turned into frustration when I realized not one single one of these assessments ever made me more money. Not one of them ever helped me close more sales. Not one of them ever helped me stop struggling and hustling and grinding in my sales process. And I remember feeling so frustrated, asking myself, what is the point of taking these personality assessments if it doesn't impact the bottom line? I've never gone on one sales appointment where the customer stopped me mid-sentence and said, hey, Cheri, wait, before you go any further, I just want to know your personality type. Like, has that ever happened to you? No. It's never happened to any of us. But I remember thinking, wait a minute, if it's been proven for thousands of years that there's 4 different types of people, I wonder if they make buying decisions differently. And I wonder if what makes one person say yes makes another person say no. And that's when I got an idea. I said, world, show me the personality assessment who can tell me not who I am, no one cared, but who my customer or buyer is. And it didn't exist. So friends, I invented my own and I called it bank. So this is where bank is based on the art and science of influence. And I have people ask me all the time, is bank just like the other assessments? Is bank just like DISC or these other ones? What I'd say is yes, they're exactly the same, only completely different. Because every other assessment in the marketplace was based in psychology. Bank was the first in the world based in what I call biology, spelled B-U-Y-ology, which was the science of buying behavior. At the end of the day, I didn't care if the customer was introverted, extroverted. I cared about what makes them buy, what triggers the yes or the no outcome. Ask yourself if this is starting to make sense. Like, oh my gosh, if there was an assessment that could reveal why my customer buys and what triggers the yes versus the no, I'm in. And that's how we get people on the bank system to become code breakers. So how to break the code or crack the code. This is a little device right here because bank's going to help you crack the personality code of your buyer and take it to the bank. All right. So this device is called a cryptex. Think of a cryptex. It's made up of 2 words, cryptology, which is the science of locking up secret information, and codex, which is the written script or scroll that has the secret message on it. It was made famous in the movie The Da Vinci Code. Now, the whole plot of the movie was, how do I crack the code of this device and get it to open up? Because if you could successfully get it to open up, what you'd find on the inside is a tiny little piece of paper. And what was written on that piece of paper revealed the secret to the Holy Grail. There's only one way to find out what is the secret. You had to crack the code. Now, I want you to imagine, what's the point of this? Imagine from this point forward that every single one of your customers or clients or leads or prospects has an invisible cryptex. And I want you to imagine if what was written inside that cryptex on that little piece of paper was exactly what to say to them in your sales appointment to get the yes. To have them say, I'm in, sign me up. Here's my credit card. Let's do it. Send over the invoice. I'll transfer the money. That is the holy grail in sales. And yet the challenge is this little device is booby trapped. Think of it like a ticking time bomb, because the little paper was wrapped around a fragile little vial of vinegar. And if you failed to crack the code correctly, what you'd crack instead is that vial of vinegar. The vinegar would leak out, dissolve the writing on the scroll, leaving you with nothing. So the analogy that I'll make is that imagine if your client has that invisible cryptex and all you need to do is crack the code and get access to it. And yet how many times have you accidentally cracked the vial of vinegar and you watch that sale go from a yes to a no, just like that? And you evaporated the chance of doing business with that customer, and you chalk it up to a numbers game. You try to get mentally tough so that you can just get out there and get rejected and go do it again, and get rejected and go do it again, and get rejected so you go do it again. Ladies, enough is enough. I want you to type yes into the chat box if you'd rather not get rejected and keep doing it again. But what if you actually got yeses over and over and over? Type yes into the chat box. Type yes into the chat box. You too, Mitchell. I see you're here as an honorary man. I love it. Don't let the ladies outsmart you here. Okay. So if you're sitting there saying yes, 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 all right, this is where we're now going to go further and deeper into the science. See, Tony Robbins said, let your prospect determine your presentation. And I said, well, wait a minute. If there's 4 different distinct types of people, shouldn't I have 4 different presentations, 4 different approaches, even if I'm selling them the same one thing? And the answer is yes. And yet so many of us have been programmed to deliver the same thing over and over, like a one-size-fits-all option, and expecting to get a no. So the greatest mistake that I found that people like us were making is based on whatever your dominant personality type is. Let's say on the left here, you're the dominant red personality type. Well, when you go talk to your matching personality type, chances are you're going to get a yes. And that represents one of the 4 styles of people. But then I realized, wait a minute, if I approach them from my red personality perspective and I go talk to the other 3, the blue, the green, and the yellow, chances are I'm going to get a no 3 out of 4 times. That meant that I was leaving 75% of the business on the table. It meant that I was spoon feeding my competitor at a rate of 3 to 1, because for every yes I was giving my competition 3 of my lost customers. Yikes. And if you want to know what is this costing you, because of course at the end of this webinar, I'm going to make you an offer to become a code breaker. And you get to decide if it's worth your investment of time and money. Okay, but here's how you know, what does this cost? Well, I want you to take your last year's income, take the last 12 months or your last calendar year's income and think of that number right now. And now I want you to triple it. So if you made $50,000 last year, triple it and it becomes $150,000. If you made $100,000 last year, triple it, it becomes $300,000 and so forth. Whatever your triple number is, that is the amount of money you potentially lost last year in your business not using the science. Now, I want you to type the word ouch into the chat box if that sucks, right? I know money doesn't buy you all happiness, but how many of you would have preferred to have brought that money home to the bank? I think probably most of us, right? We're not idiots here. So that risk, right? When people say, what's your program cost? It costs you that amount of money to potentially not implement and use bank in your sales process. And for me, when I was making these decisions, I was like, whoa, that's not negotiable. No, no, no. Okay. I want to bring that money home. And this is why I'm going to reiterate this statistic that I shared with you at the very beginning. Now, maybe it's making sense based on the 4 different personality type buyers, why only 18%, or in other words, 2 out of 10 people who are not like you, like they do not match you, are going to buy from you. Maybe you said enough of a different thing that piqued their interest to say, okay, I'll do it. versus you could get 82% of people who are not like you, which if you think about, if you already get the ones that are like you to say yes, and then you take the remaining group and you get 82% of the remaining ones to say yes to you when they don't match your style. Wow. And this is where we have clients that start closing at 80, 90, and 100% close rates when they're meeting with customers. Okay. So when I say I'm going to help you become 300% better when you become a code breaker who starts using the bank system, imagine that your clients are so different one from another. It's like they speak different languages. So if you look at this little bar graph here, let's say that the B for bank in our acronym, the B stands for blueprint. Let's pretend they speak English. When you go talk to your English speaking customer, you're probably going to get a yes. That's your current baseline. Those are the sales you're closing right now without our help. Okay. That's your baseline. But what about when you meet that action personality type, the red A? Let's say they don't speak English, they speak French. Well, what I'm suggesting to you is it would be foolish to deliver your message and presentation and offer in English if they only speak French. What bank is going to help you do is it's going to help you identify that that customer doesn't speak English, they speak French, and now how to morph your presentation and offer into French. Bonjour, je m'appelle Cheri, j'ai habité en France pour 3 ans quand j'ai été petite, enchantée. Now, if you speak French, you know exactly what I said, just like your customer understands your offer and can make a yes buying decision when you speak their code. Versus if you didn't understand what I said, you maybe thought it sounded cool. You may be in the mood for a croissant right now, but will you say yes to my offer if it's in a language you don't understand? Of course not. And that's the unfortunate part of every time you deliver your message to the wrong personality type in front of you, okay? So you just got 100% better because instead of getting 1 out of 4 to say yes, you now got 2 out of 4. What about when you meet the yellow personality type, the N that stands for nurturing? They don't speak English or French. What if they speak Romanian? You're like, well, no problem. I'm a code breaker and I now know how to deliver my message to this person in Romanian, even if it's not your native language. Remember what Tony Robbins said, let your prospect determine your presentation. You speak Romanian, you say, bună ziua, mă numesc Cheri, am fost misionară pentru biserica mea. Am locuit acolo pentru 1 an jumate, îmi pare bine. And all of a sudden, the person who speaks Romanian is like, whoa. And of course they say yes to your offer. Of course they become a customer because we've all been trained in traditional sales training that people will buy from you when they know you, like you, and trust you. What do you think creates the know, like, and trust factor, ladies and gentlemen? It's the match of the code. Science has already proven it. So now you're 200% more effective because you can not only close 1 out of 4, you can close 2 out of 4 and 3 out of 4. What about when you meet that 4th personality style, the K that stands for knowledge, the color green here? Let's say they speak Korean. And you might say, whoa, let me see Cheri pull this one off. Well, no problem. What if this is your biggest customer? What if this is the one that changes the trajectory of you going from 6, multiple 6 to 7 figures of income? All of a sudden you say, no problem, I got this. I'm a code breaker. Annyeonghaseyo, na는 한국말 조금밖에 못해요. And the person who speaks Korean knows exactly what I said. So you just became 300% more effective. It didn't cost you more time. It didn't cost you more money. It didn't cost you more marketing dollars. You're actually able to save time and make more money. One of our clients his name is Dr. Gum. He saw me speak at a really large conference. Most of my conferences are thousands of people to tens of thousands of people at a time. Okay, so it's very rare that I do these small little events. And I made a $2,000 offer at that conference. Now, again, I want you thinking about, would you invest $2,000 if it could move the needle like this for you? Type yes into the chat box. I know you might not have it, but I always believe where there's a will, there's a way. What if this was the game changer for you? So this guy named Dr. Gum comes up to me at the conference. He was a successful chiropractor. And he comes up and he says, why should I buy your program? He says, no offense, but I'm already a great closer. And I said, well, awesome. High five. Great job. I said, what's your close rate? He said, 80%. I said, that's incredible. He said, so why should I buy your program? I said, depends on what the other 20% is worth. He's like, ah, crap. And he pulls out his credit card and invests $2,000 into coming through our training. 6 months later, Dr. Gum called me up and said, hey, Cheri, it's Dr. Gum. I want to invite you to come speak at my conference. I'm in charge of organizing the entire Association for Chiropractors conference, and I'd like you to come be our keynote. And I said, I guess it worked. He said, well, not only did it work and take my close rate from 80% to 90%, he said, that's actually not what impressed me the most. What impressed me the most was that I was able to cut my closing time in half. So what happens when you use bank is you not only get the yes and put the dart into the bullseye every single time practically, but you're able to do it in a lot less time. Many fewer appointments. Think of those clients that you've met with, not just once, but 2, 3, 4 times. What if you could just throw the dart into the bullseye one time and get that yes? That is the essence of a code breaker, because when you learn to say the right things to those 4 buying styles, time now gets collapsed. And this is where bank will not only create an ROI, a return on your investment, but an ROT, a return on your time. Okay. So what we've now done, I'm going to go into part 3 of our webinar today, which is to introduce you to the system. And then I'll go into part 4, which is how do you become a code breaker if you choose. The system is very simple. I wanted to keep it simple. It's teaching our clients what a BANK is, and then giving them the exact training and tools and technologies to be able to get that yes and communicate effectively every single time. Okay. And so what I'm going to do right now is introduce you to the 4 personas of bank. These are the 4 buying styles. This is how we categorize it. The B in bank stands for blueprint. I use the color blue because this person is a little colder to approach. It's got the color in it, blueprint. And in branding and corporate colors, blue is more of a credible color in a brand. That's why I use blue for blueprint. Well, a blueprint is very conservative. They're very formal in nature. They're very risk averse. They're very budget conscious. And what I discovered was that they had this invisible set of values. So think of that cryptex. What's written on their piece of paper on how to sell to them are these values here. They value stability, structure, systems, planning, processes, predictability, responsibility, duty, rules, credentials, titles, and tradition. So this is how your blueprint customer is wired. Imagine whether you're selling an insurance policy or an investment portfolio or a home, or you're trying to recruit them into your network marketing business. This person has a very particular way of buying, and they're very cautious about saying yes to you. So what we discovered was that there's a handful, a set of triggers of things that you need to say to get the yes, and tripwires, which are things that you say that create the no, that breaks the vial of vinegar. Okay, and that's what our system is going to reveal to you, right? When you meet this person, they're a very formal type person. And I've got stories that I'll share with you real quick. This is Jeff Vogan, a financial advisor. He was very skeptical. Like, why should I invest a few $1,000 into learning the bank system? But he said the risk of not doing it, the money that he was leaving on the table was a lot more than the cost of our program. So he decided, I'm going to start using bank and become a code breaker. In his first 90 days, he was up an additional 50,000. And by the end of 12 months, he generated an additional 750,000 in revenue. He was making 250,000 when he met us. He crossed over his first $1 million year within 12 months of using our system. These are not guaranteed results, but these happen so often with our community of code breakers that they just become addicts of using the system. The A in bank, if we switch to a totally different persona than a blueprint, notice I switched to the color A. The action is the red hot firecracker, your mover and shaker. They act like they just drank Red Bull for breakfast and they only want one type of treatment, red color carpet VIP treatment. There's your action. If you were to approach an action personality type like a formal conservative blueprint, are you going to close the sale? I think we all know the answer is no. Well, how are they wired then? Their operating system has a different set of values. Inside the cryptex are different words like freedom, flexibility, spontaneity, action, opportunity, excitement, attention, stimulation, competition, having fun, winning. And they care all about their image from head to toe. It's all for show. I've literally heard action say the reason they didn't buy from you or invest with you or do business with you was based on the car you drove, the shoes you wore, the name brand of the pen you used to ink a deal. It seems so shallow, doesn't it? And yet actions are wired to be the best and surround themselves with the best. So if there's a disconnect in the type of bragging right that you can give them when they engage with you, they're not going to do business with you. They will find your competition who can give them those types of feelings and results. Okay, when you meet an action, they're not the conservative handshaky type. They're way more animated, right? Like a high five. If we were in a live audience, I'd have you turn to your neighbor here and give them a high five. Say, take it to the bank. Because that's how your action clients want to feel from you, that energy level of enthusiasm. This is Jane Johnston, one of our clients. She's in real estate. When she met us, she was making a little over $200,000 a year and selling about 22, 23 homes a year. Also a little bit skeptical. I think it's natural to be guarded because we're in a world where everybody's pitching everything. But she said, again, you know, I would be crazy not to do this if this could move the needle at all, like the risk was offsetting the investment into our program. So she became a code breaker. And in her first year, she went from selling 20-something homes to 67 homes. And she increased her income from 200-something thousand to over $600,000, $400,000 increase. Is that worth a couple $1,000s to learn our system? We'll ask Jane, right? She's a massive believer. So again, this is how it works. She uses bank in every single appointment, and we will teach you how to do that. Okay. The N in bank, if we switch to our third persona here, the N is nurturing. So I use the color yellow. These people are warm like sunshine. They're sweet like honey, and they've got a heart of gold. Well, the things that motivate and drive them to saying yes are totally different than what makes a B or an A say yes. It requires a third different style approach. Well, the words that are locked in their cryptex are going to be words like relationships, authenticity, personal growth, significance, teamwork, involvement, community, charity, ethics, harmony, morality, and contribution. This person doesn't care about how much money you're making. They're not impressed with the car you drive. They're impressed with the difference that you're out there making, the lives that you're out there changing. So they require a different approach. When you greet them, they're the friendly, huggy type, right? They want to touch you, hug you, love on you, and they want the same in return. Here's a story of Robin Edgar. She's a super nurturing financial advisor. And one of the reasons she wanted to learn bank is because her clients were getting older. And when they die off, there's money that they're going to pass to their heirs. And what happens when children inherit money is they don't necessarily keep their money with the same investment advisor. And she thought, wow, maybe I could use bank to build relationships with the children of my clients so that I can serve them as the money passes to the next generation. So she started to crack the bank code of her clients and then invited them to create a conference with their children. She cracked the bank code of the children and began talking to them as if they are her future clients. And in one single month, she increased her income above what she was averaging by an additional $70,000. Now, these numbers may sound ridiculous. If these numbers are too big from you, drop a 0 or 2. What if it made you an extra $700 or $7,000 in a week or a month? Would that be worth it? Right? And again, each one of these personality styles requires a different approach. Now, let's say that the fourth and final personality type, the K, stands for knowledge. And I use the color green. And I picked green for a few reasons. Right? These people love information and data so much, I thought of Microsoft Excel spreadsheets logo. If you could geek out in spreadsheets for a while, you're probably high on knowledge. Or in the movie The Matrix, the computer code that falls across the screen is green. Well, the knowledge personality type values things like learning, intelligence, logic, self-mastery, technology, research and development, science, universal truths, expertise, competence, accuracy in the big picture. This person certainly doesn't care about the car that you drive or if you're huggy and friendly. Like, they care about what you know. Are you an expert? Can you help them make the right decision? So the K personality types are very peculiar. And as a matter of fact, they're the only one of the 4 personality types that you cannot close. You cannot close a K. A K must close themselves. And this is where most salespeople get stuck, and they chalk the Ks up to their most frustrating types of clients who get stuck in analysis paralysis and take forever to make a buying decision. Well, there's a reason for that, and we can help you get to yes much faster. Matter of fact, our systems are designed to help you be able to create something called a one-call close, where you can actually meet with your client and still close and engage them in business and get that yes in one single appointment. And this is why our system is so innovative and disruptive. Now, when it comes to greeting the K, you know, we had the handshake with the blueprint, we had a high five with an action, we had a super warm hug with the nurturing. My thought was, do the Ks want to be touched at all? And the answer is no, they don't. So I thought, well, how do I greet a K without touching them? And here's what I came up with, right? The Vulcan salute from Star Trek. And the reality is they prefer not to be touched. So be very careful and don't impose the way that you want to be greeted on the person that you're meeting with. This is where you need to be respectful. Do unto others as they would have done unto themselves. And that's the idea behind the platinum rule. This is Sarah Stevens, another one of our clients. She lives up in Canada. She's in sales. She wanted to put the program to the test, and her income climbed $228,000 in a single year on top of what she was already averaging. Okay, so again, these are not rare stories. These are common stories inside of the Codebreaker community, and the dollar amounts of increase depend on you and how often and frequent and systematically you're using the bank system. But if you could create these types of results, I want you to type yes in bank. If you would love just 1 year, a magical unicorn year of getting yeses, type yes into the chat box. Why not? Why not have 1 year to allow yourself to have the best year of your life and the most amount of yeses, having it be easier than it's ever done? I'll tell you, you will fall madly in love with sales the moment you figure out how to just get yeses. Just get yeses. Okay. So as I start to pull this to a close and talk about, well, how do you become a code breaker? First, let me explain the power of the code itself. What's important to understand is that every person in the world is not just one of these 4. They're actually a combination of all 4. So your customers are part blueprint, part action, part nurturing, and part knowledge. They have all 4 sides to them. Okay. And so if you think of a bank code like a PIN code, if you were to take out your debit card and go put it into the local ATM machine, it would ask you to enter a 4-digit PIN code if you want your money to come out. Well, guess what, friends? Your customer is the exact same way, only they have a 4-digit bank code. And if you understand the 4-digit sequence and then communicate to them in their sequence, a yes is going to come out. So how many different bank codes are there? There's 24, which means the probability of you speaking the exact right message to your customer on your own initiative without our training, without our tools, without our technology is slim. It means you have a 1 in 24 chance or probability of getting a yes. These are not good odds, right? I didn't want to risk my future career and all the potential money that I was leaving on the table to these odds and my lack of skill set around this science. I was looking for a way that I could get potentially 100% of the bank codes accurate from my client, to take all of the guesswork out of it and to leave traditional sales training kind of in the back burner. Right? Because traditional sales training tells us we have to ask a bunch of questions. We have to listen for the answers. We need to mirror and match their body behavior. No, what if you didn't have to do that? What if you just needed to know their bank code? So I said, well, how do I find out my customer's bank code? How do I get them to tell me what their bank code is? And by the way, how do I do it in less than 90 seconds? And if I could crack that code, could I start to take it to the bank? And guess what, friends? I figured it out. I cracked the code. So I said, what if it could be as simple as just asking my customer, what is your bank code? So I had to come up with a really creative way to do that. So I invented a little set of 4 cards. Now, these 4 cards right here that I'm holding up on my screen became a game changer. And this is what I would do. And this is no joke. This is for real what I would do with my customers. I would say, Mr. and Mrs. Client, let's pretend it's Elyse. Before we get started, would you please do me a favor and take a look at these 4 cards, and then I would hand them to them and their hands would take it like this. And I would say, I want you to take a look at these 4 cards and review them. Then I want you to sort them in order and put the one that's most like you and most important to you on top, down to least like you, least important to you on the bottom. This is going to help me serve you better and save us both some time. And then I would shut up and watch what would happen. And do you know that when I did that, they would take the cards out of my hands, look at them, shuffle them into their sequence, and hand me back their bank code every single time. 100% of the time. I couldn't even believe it. It was the best track record I'd ever had. And I want to share with you 3 reasons why your customers will do this and love to do it with you. Okay. Number 1 is their curiosity gets the best of them. The brain craves novelty. And if you're sitting there showing them something they've never seen before, that's going to set you apart from your competition. Number 2, the topic on the cards was about them, not me. It has the word values written on there. Okay, them, not me. And number 3 is I actually spoke 4 languages to them in the exercise. Now, the untrained ear heard me speak English, but the trained ear heard me speak bank. And this is where I want to show you, ladies, exactly how this works using the science. Okay, type yes into the chat box if you want me to deconstruct exactly how I spoke all 4 codes to them. Because this is the power of influence. This is the art and science of influence right here. Okay. So when I hand my clients the 4 cards and I say, I want you to take a look at these 4 cards, I'm now activating the K personality type that wants the data, the information. I then give the instructions, sort them top to bottom, most like you to least like you. I'm now activating their inner blueprint who wants the rules, the processes, the instructions. I then said, this is going to help me serve you better or get to know you better. I'm now activating their inner nurturing who wants a relationship authentic with me. And I end it with, and save us both some time. I'm now activating their inner action who says, hurry up, chop, chop, time is money. So do you realize that every single time you speak or write, you are communicating in a code? And the question is, what code are you communicating in? And if you can identify the code of your buyer and then speak to that code, you unlock the yes nearly every single time. And that's how this process becomes magical for being a code breaker. And that's why Les Brown says, ladies, this is a game changer for anyone who's an entrepreneur or sales professional, which is why Elyse is bringing it to her community. This system's going to do 3 things. And I want you to pay close attention. Ask yourself, would I invest money to become a code breaker if I could get these 3 benefits? Number 1, strengthen your confidence, because when you know the bank code of the person that you're about to engage, message, meet, offer, or close, your confidence goes through the roof. Okay. Number 2, expand your selling skills. You could be trained by the best sales trainers in the world, including Elyse. And this system will make you even better, adding a new skill set called people to your skill set, personality science. And then, of course, the end result is dramatically increase your income, because it's almost impossible to not put more money in the bank when you're out there using it in a business application. Okay. So I want you to type bank into the chat box if you would love to look at what our offer is to become a code breaker and to begin using our tools, our training, and our technology to help you get those yeses, to help you save a lot more time and to put money in the bank. Type bank into the chat box. Okay. So if this is not interesting to you and you're like, I'm good, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, no problem. I'm not offended by that. But if you're like, give me an advantage, give me a competitive advantage, give me something that allows me to strip the hustle out of me and actually pay me a lot more money what I'm worth. Okay. So for those of you that say, yes, I want to be a code breaker, I'm going to share with you how we can engage you. Okay. And it's a very simple process. Okay. So we built solutions, we built tools, training, and technology to be able to support you, not to overwhelm you, but to make it easier than ever before to unlock those yeses. And we will walk you through the process. The outcome for someone who says, I'm choosing to become a code breaker, like Kathleen, who you met, or like Elyse, who's in the process of immersing herself in our training, is number one, you're going to improve your communication. Just ask yourself, is that valuable for me, especially personally and professionally? Number two is we're going to increase your reach, your revenue, and your retention in your business, getting a lot more yeses in less time and keeping and retaining your customers actively in your book of business. Very valuable. Number three is we're going to strengthen your relationships on the personal side, not just professional. So we apply bank in the human relationship, dating, parenting, marriage. You'd be blown away at how potentially to interact differently with people that you love once you know their bank code. Number four is emotional intelligence. This is just going to make you a better human being by raising your EQ, or your emotional intelligence, right? If you want to be kinder, more approachable, more charismatic, and more influential, raise your emotional intelligence. Bank will do that for you. And number five, the outcome is we're going to advance your leadership competency. If you want to be a better leader, more influential in your family, in your community, in your company, or maybe for all of humanity, leadership is based on your ability to influence small groups, large groups, or the masses. And to influence requires this science, okay? So if you're sitting here saying, yes, 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 all right, I want to do this, then I'll walk you through it. And there's a few ways to engage with us. What most of our customers do is they leap into something called the Codebreaker Summit, which is a full immersive download of our bank system into your DNA, into your brains, into your heart and soul, so that you can begin using it right away. And that's our Codebreaker Summit. This is a 3-day experience, but the good news is we do them virtually so that you can do it from the comfort of your own home or office. And we are going to get you 2 tickets to our Codebreaker Summit. Our next event is December 8, 9, and 10. Now, we host these every couple months, and your tickets that you'd be getting are valid for an entire year. The sooner you can take it, the better, okay? That's our Codebreaker Summit. The special that we're running is these tickets are normally $29.99. You can get your tickets to the Codebreaker Summit for $19.99, basically $2,000. Or we've broken it up into 4 payments of $549, okay? So our goal is to have you experience our Codebreaker Summit, where we spend an entire day on the bank fundamentals for sales, teaching you how to use bank in the sales process, drive those revenue outcomes. The second full day is immersed in bank for relationships, so that we can get you really understanding how to create relationship currency in your personal private life. We've had people say this saved my marriage. This made me a better parent. It has prevented suicide. Incredible benefits for understanding someone else's code. The third day is called speed coding, where we're going to teach you how to become really good at guessing or cracking someone's code when you meet them without our tools or technology, okay? So it's 3 full days, all video driven and facilitated live via Zoom. You will get your tickets to that. In addition, here's the bonus that we're going to give you is we will supplement that training with our online digital 24/7 access library called Bank Vault. Bank Vault is our online repository of all of our different courses, more than $10,000 of retail courses, professionally filmed and loaded inside of our Bank Vault, so that you can have on-demand learning like Netflix on the power of your phone or desktop. And you can log in for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes a day and supercharge yourself with really important training modules that are not only going to make you an expert in bank, but also in business. We cover a lot of different topics, from your business plans, your mindsets, to goal setting, to prospecting, networking, marketing, recruiting, selling, leadership, teamwork, the whole shebang built into the vault. More than 50 hours of content, but filmed in 5 to 10 minute modules and increments, so that you can do it in your busy life on the go. Okay. And then what we built, so that's our training that we'd like for you to immerse yourself in, both live and virtual digital training. The Bank Vault, you'll get a 2-year access on that. But in addition, we wanted to create tools that help you crack the code of your customer in way less time. The cards are, yes, very powerful, but then we built technology to go with it that made it even more powerful. And I'm going to show that to you right now. So if you want to crack your client's code, but you're not face-to-face, and let's say you're over Zoom or maybe communicating through text messaging or email, you can actually send them a private link that is customized to you. and invite them to crack their code. We'll give you the exact scripts of what to say. Plus, this is a very powerful lead generation technology because you can give out our bank assessments on an unlimited basis every single month for just one low subscription price, okay? So this is our $99 monthly subscription. You're gonna get a private link to crackmycode.com/your unique user ID. And now when you have a customer who you want to engage with, before you meet with them, invite them to crack their code. We'll give you the exact script, okay? Now, once they do, here's what's cool. You're gonna offer them a free $99 value assessment. It takes them less than 90 seconds, and they get a really powerful report about themselves. And I'm gonna give every one of you a free gift today, which is this assessment so that you can complete that. And that has been purchased and prepaid for by the amazing Elyse Archer. Okay, so we'll put that link here at the end where you can crack your code and get your free assessment and experience it yourself. But this is not why we created it. We created it because we wanted to help salespeople like you and me, Elyse, and so forth, be able to get the sales report on your customer. So when they crack their code with your link, they're going to enter their name, phone number, and email in exchange for getting that report and not paying $99. Well, we share that information with you, the private link subscriber. So you're going to get a matching sales report that says, guess what? You just cracked the code of your customer. Here's their name, phone number, email privately. They're willing to share with you. Here's their bank code. And here's the top tips of how to communicate, negotiate, and close the sale. Good luck on your appointment and take it to the bank. Now type yes in the chat box if you would love a quick little at-a-glance cheat sheet on exactly what to say to your customer to get a yes instead of a no every single appointment. That's the equivalent of me whispering in your ear exactly what to say on every single sales call. Okay, so that's our Bank Pass technology. All of your leads and the codes that you crack of all your customers get loaded into your online code breaker dashboard with a private login that only you have access to. And now you get to see all of your customers and all of that data. You can sync it with your CRM. You can even begin emailing your list of customers and prospects differently based on their bank codes. And that's what our more sophisticated code breakers are doing. Now, in addition, with your subscription, you get access to Codebreaker AI. This is the world's first artificial intelligence powered by bank. Forbes said this is the future of sales. And this AI is quite frankly what got us invited to speak at the United Nations AI conference. Okay. How it works is you can put any communication into our AI decoder and it will analyze it and spit out the bank code and tell you exactly how to engage and work with that person. So if you've got an email from your client, a text message, a social media post, or you want to run your own communication, your blogs or websites or marketing copy through our AI, it'll tell you exactly the code that that communication is being spoken in, which is very, very powerful now. We also built a Chrome extension for LinkedIn. So on your Google Chrome browser, you can actually pull up any single person's profile, whether you've met with them or not, and say, I wonder what their bank code is because I want to go lead generating today. I want to schedule appointments today with people I've never met. Or I'm getting ready to meet with these clients and I want to do some recon. Maybe you've asked them to crack their code. Perhaps they haven't gotten around to it yet. Maybe they've refused to do it. And you're like, well, I want to see if I can predict what your bank code is anyway, so you don't go into your appointment blind like you have your entire career. And so you pull up their LinkedIn profile. Here's an example of Esther, the co-founder of Codebreaker. You install the Chrome extension. It'll authenticate that you're an active subscriber with us monthly. That's that $99 subscription. And now you can use it and watch this video how quickly it works. You click the button once you've pulled up their profile. The AI will analyze their entire LinkedIn and then generate a bank code prediction, what we call their personality prediction. And then it will guide you through an interface exactly how to reach out to them, how to message them, how to schedule a call with them, how to sell to them, how to recruit them, how to close them, how to negotiate with them, all through our AI. I mean, type the word boom in the chat box if you're like, OMG. And ladies, what I want you to understand, and Mitch, I'm not excluding you, but what I want you to understand is we're either training this to you and giving you access to this, or we're training your competition on how to use this. right? And this is where Elyse wants you to have access to it, okay? And by the way, we've got one step further. We are getting ready to release. We already have the beta version, and it was just approved by Google on top of this. If you've heard of the sensation of ChatGPT, wait no further. ChatGPT has one major flaw. It will create incredible marketing copy and content, but you don't know the personality type it's writing it for until now. Codebreaker Chat is the first AI that is ChatGPT to the power of bank, which means you can actually tell the model, Codebreaker Chat, how to write copy specifically to that personality type, and it will do it for you. Okay, so this takes all of the guesswork out of it. What used to take sometimes half hour or an hour of trying to figure out the exact right thing to say to your customer, you can now do it in nanoseconds to that personality type on top of it. These are game-changing technologies. There's a couple bonuses that I want to give you today that hopefully just make this a no-brainer for you, okay? These bonuses, so we're offering you the full Codebreaker Summit and our bank vault. That is $19.99 or 4 payments of $549. Okay, you can choose whichever's best for your budget. And then in addition to it, we're going to bundle in our $99 subscription for your first 30 days. Afterwards, you get to renew it. For those of you that, whether or not you unlock the vault and do the $19.99 program, or if you just want to test out our technology, we're going to give you a couple bonuses today. Bonus number 1 is our Kickstarter home study course, which is a masterclass on bank for sales and bank for relationships, the short and condensed version, 20 short little video modules that's going to get you on the right track. Plus, I'm going to give you an advanced assessment, which is 20 questions, and I'm going to give you the digital copy of my book, Why They Buy. And that's where I told you I was going to give you that as a bonus today. So you can read the book digitally. I'm also going to give you my bank audios sold separately for $4.99. You're going to get them as a bonus today as well. And that way you can download them onto your smart devices and just take me with you. Take me to the gym. Listen to me while you're driving in the car instead of to music. Take me on your next flight. Let me teach you the code. Because if I can download this into your brain, you'll be amazed at how quickly you can begin saying the right things to your customers. So we offer our subscription. We bundle it in with our $19.99 package, but there's 2 to choose from. Our $29 one is a light version of just cracking codes with the assessments. And our Supercharged Empower subscription is the $99 subscription with all of the AI and everything else built in, unlimited basis, okay? 92% of our customers choose to do the $99 subscription for obvious reasons. Time is money. So this is where I'm going to invite you to make the decision. I shared with you this would be about 75 minutes. I'm 2 minutes over. And this is where you get to decide, what is my time and money worth? Is it worth investing in this program and saving myself a lot of pain and agony and chasing my tail and getting more yeses in less time? Then the answer should be become a code breaker, okay? And that becomes very obvious. So the way that our code breakers engage with us is crack your code, and Elyse is going to let you do that for free and take the assessment model. Plus, choose your subscription, $29 or $99. Unlock the vault where you're going to get the bonuses for the Codebreaker Summit. And then if you're interested, join the movement, which is our affiliate influencer program or certified trainer program. If you're like, oh man, I would love to make additional streams of income by introducing this to other people. So the special that we're doing today, for those of you that say, I want to jump in, like, let me immerse myself, it's a decision for $1,999. The whole package value of what you get is full access to our bank vault for 2 full years, all of our content, all of our online learning modules. You're going to get our Kickstarter Pro home study course, our bank audios, 2 tickets to our Codebreaker Summit virtually. The next one's coming up December 8 through 10. And our Codebreaker Tech subscription, our $99 subscription, bundled in for 30 days. That's a $6,195 offer. You get it for $19.99 or 4 payments of $549. Don't want to sell like a used car salesperson at all. Just trying to explain how we break it down so that you can make a very simple decision. And this slide right here just kind of helps you know where you're at. And what I'd like for you to do is type into the chat box Number 3, if you want to activate the subscription, you can do the subscription all by itself, $29 or $99. It's up to you. The bonuses come with the $99 subscription, the home study course and the bank audios. It's about $1,000 in bonuses on the subscription alone. Unlock the Vault is where you also get the full bank vault and the tickets to the Codebreaker Summit. That's the $1,999 program. So if that's you, type number 2 in the chat box. If you just want the subscription only, type number 3 in the chat box. And if you're like, hey, I want to join the movement, I'd be interested in an extra $300 or $500 or $1,000 a month, or maybe $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month, sharing this with my network. If you're looking for an additional stream of income, then that would be a number 1, join the movement. And I will invite you to a separate webinar just about that, where we teach our code breakers 4 ways of making money with us. Way number 1 is what I talked about today, using bank as a code breaker, a customer, a client, a member. Okay, we've got over 300,000 code breakers out there across 100 different countries. But because our programs were so successful, what automatically started happening was people were coming to us saying, hey, do you guys have any type of affiliate or influencer marketing program on this? Because every time I tell someone about bank, they want to buy it, and I'd like to get paid. That's our influencer program to sell bank. Someone like Kathleen, who's been an influencer with a couple months, just in the last couple of weeks, she's already earned over $22,000 by just referring bank to her network. Okay, you can do it part-time, spare time, whatever, right? Some people do it full-time because they make a lot of bank. And then the other segment is if you're interested in getting certified and actually coaching the bank modules curriculum for your customer client base that you already have, right? Like if you were the life coach or business coach and you actually want to bring these trainings to your group, you can get certified to teach it as a coach or a trainer. And that's where you have the opportunity to maybe make 5, 10, 15, or 20 grand in a single day by actually hosting a workshop for your clients. No income claims, but if you want to know more about these other 3, then we'll have Elyse invite you to our webinar to learn more about the opportunity side of bank. Okay, so that's the people who are interested in joining our movement, and we can share with you more. I'll leave one last thing here, and then I'll stop the webinar, and I'm happy to answer some questions if you have any. Is we have our official conference kickoff at the beginning of the year in January in Las Vegas. Keynote speaker Raman Sharma, one of the most prolific authors on the topic of leadership and personal development. He will be our main keynote speaker. It's going to be in Las Vegas. We're, having Elyse come out. There's a lot of people from your community that are going to end up coming, and I want to let you guys know about it so you can start to pencil the date in and certainly ask more questions about how to get a ticket to this iconic event. Okay, Las Vegas. And that's it. So, what I'll do now is I will post the link here in the chat for those of you that say, I want to sign up, whether it's for the subscription, whether it's for the full bank vault, and you get the whole $6,000 bundle for $19.99 or the 4 payments of $549. I'll put the link in the chat for you to sign up, and then let me open it up for questions. Let me just go grab the link real quick though, so I can put that in there. And that way, those of you that are ready can get started. One second. All right. So there is the link. And this is Elyse's private link. Okay. Elyse is an influencer with Codebreaker, and she's wanting to bring this methodology to you in the She Sells community, plus Mitch. I don't know what you're calling that yet, Elyse, or if that's a secret new brand that you're launching that includes men now. Maybe he's not even here anymore and he's like, I'm out. Or he had to go. And Elyse, maybe do you want to come out here and share with your ladies? And then if you have questions, you guys can raise your hand or type them in the chat box, and I'll spend a little bit more time with you answering those questions if you have some time, just to make sure that you understand exactly what this is, how it works, and how it can give you a significant advantage. So Elyse, let me bring you up.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Cheri. And I know you've been like rocking and rolling and going, but there's been so much great stuff going on in the chat just about minds blown, big takeaways, like loving it. So thank you so much. And I don't think we've ever brought in another partner like this into our community in this way. I'm very, very selective about who I introduce to all of you. I care a lot about only bringing you the best. Can you tell I'm an A? Like, I'm so resonating with that. And so I just really believe in when I find something that I believe in that, that not only sounds good, but actually delivers the results and is going to help empower you to sell with more confidence, to serve more people, and of course, to quantum leap your income, which is what we're really all about in this community. I want to make you aware of it. So that's why I personally, when I learned about Cheri and her team and what they were doing, why I signed up to be an influencer, because I want to bring this into our community to help teach you like a ninja level method to serve more people and also and generate more income for yourself too. And so I'm really excited for this. I'm grateful, Cheri, for what you shared. And I know we've got the link in there as well. And I did see William had asked a question earlier, and I think he just retyped it in the chat too. So Cheri, I don't know if you want to, do you want me to read that, or do you see that in the chat?
You can read it. I didn't see it.
Okay, cool. So he said, how do you arrange your website so that your bank code system works there too?
Oh yeah. Okay, good. Sorry, I was just typing so you guys had the links.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so when you go to a website, and we have a lot of clients who do this too, is let's say that, you know, you don't know what personality type is getting ready to land on your website, but what our top code breakers are doing is either they're building their website communication copy so that they're addressing all 4 styles. And how you know if you're doing that is copy your website and run it into our AI model, and it'll tell you what code you're written in. I mean, it's fascinating how this works, right? And I can even give you guys a quick little demo of how this works if you want to stay on for a few minutes. And then what we did is, for example, if you wanted to download something from the website or get a free this or that, then what we do is we invite you to crack their code, and then we would reroute you to one of 4 landing pages where the copy, the video, and the email sequences that we follow up with are written to that dominant personality code. And that way we could begin communicating with our clients in their leading code, and at least start to customize the way that we engage with them based on that. Some of our clients, of course, build out sales funnels that are based on that. And again, validating the copy through the AI, but spamming your database of potential customers with a one-size-fits-all message, you either need to make sure that message has been totally bankified, where you're activating all 4 codes, or you customize and specialize it, and then you segment your database based on send this version to the blueprints, send this version to the action, send this version to the nurturing or to the knowledge. And now with Codebreaker Chat that we're getting ready to release, you don't have to just write the copy from scratch. You can actually put in your original communication or have it generate one for you. And then you can say, create the copy for this bank code. And our community of code breakers is beside themselves on the new AI that we're getting ready to release, and that's included in the $99 subscription. Okay, so that's how I would do it, William. Hopefully that helps you. What other questions or comments do you ladies have?
Let's see here. I'm just checking. Yeah. Do we want people to just raise hands? As I'm listening to you talk about that, Cheri, I did not realize how deep it went with what you've built out. So I'm excited to dive in and try out the AI as well. So yeah, this is such a, like Cheri was saying, like she's speaking on stages with major thought leaders like her. She's usually in huge audiences. So this is a rare opportunity to be able to ask a personal question. So if you have a question from what came up today or specific to you, Cheri, I know we have maybe just a couple minutes, but if anyone has one, raise your hand. I see a number of clients here. Brooke, yeah, let's have you go.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I'll have to catch some of the replay because I had to go to a customer call, but I'm back as soon as I could be. So maybe I missed this, but my question is so I came back when you were talking about how you kind of, you get their bank code with the cards. How would you do that? Like if you're doing Zoom calls most of the time, is it something that, you know, just ahead of time you would look it up, or is there a way that you do that virtually as well?
Yep, we do it virtually. So actually in the chat box right here towards the end where I said, crack your code for free and get the $99 assessment here, that is the link where you can do it virtually. So that is Elyse's link. And she's letting you use her private link for you to go crack your code online because she wants to know all of your guys' bank codes, right? But if you signed up, we have a subscription that allows you to sign up, and you would have your own custom link that you would then send to your customers and invite them to crack their code. Plus, then we created the AI that can predict what their personality is regardless. And if you want to see that, I'll show you exactly how that works for those of you that are still on here. Raise your hand if you'd like to see a quick little AI demo. You want to see it? Okay, let me show you real fast how this works. Okay, so let me share my screen. All right. So this is me. I'm logged into our code breaker portal, right? When you crack someone's code, like for example, when you go crack their code here and you send them to crackmycode.com/your username, this is where they're going to see the 4 cards. We've built them in 35 different languages, by the way. And then you can drag and drop. Like my bank code is ANKB. That's my bank code. If you decide like, well, no, it's actually this, you can just drag and drop these. Okay. And then you fill in your information here. It's free for your client to use this as long as you have an active paid subscription, which is $99 a month. You can do unlimited assessments. We don't charge you per assessment. You can see down here, 321,000 people have done this assessment already. Okay, so it keeps track of them. And then when they submit it, they get a report all about themselves. You get the matching sales report about, hey, this person just cracked their code, and here's the top tips of how to communicate, negotiate, close the sale. And we provide you their name, phone number, and email. So people will use this to generate leads. They'll post it in LinkedIn groups, crack a bunch of codes, and now they actually have leads to talk to and the sales playbook that goes with it. That's one part. The second part that I'll show you is, like I said, when you log in here, this is the portal that you'll get access to when you're a code breaker. And you can click on here and say, well, show me like all the leads of the codes that I've cracked. So this is me showing you guys, this is my personal portal. I've cracked over 2,400 different codes personally. And if I click on my leads, this is where it will show me all of the people who have cracked their code and give me access to the sales playbooks, their data, etc. Okay, you can export this, load this into your CRM and so forth. Now the AI right here, if you're on our $99 subscription versus our $29 subscription, the $29 lets you crack codes and that's it. It's a limited number of code, 10 codes a month versus unlimited on $99. This is the AI interface. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up Elyse's website. Elyse, what is your domain? Is it shesells.com?
It's ElyseArcher.com.
Oh, ElyseArcher.com. Okay. So here I am on Elyse's website. Oh yeah, there you are. Perfect. Okay. And let's go take this copy right here. So she says, does making, oh, I'm going to copy it. Ooh. Let me just grab this. Okay. I'm going to copy that. And now I'm going to come to our AI interface and I'm going to say, what bank code did Elyse write that in? Elyse, have you tested it yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I wrote most, I was like, I had a copywriter write some of it.
Okay. So here's the point, right? Your copywriter, they might write great copy, but are they communicating to the personality code of your avatar client?
Yeah.
What bank code do you hope you're targeting right here? Do you have any idea?
I honestly haven't even thought about it. That's super interesting. Like I said, like I'm an A.
Yeah, you're brand new with us. I know.
Yeah.
Brand new. You're getting, look, Elyse didn't want to wait until she's like been fully trained to introduce this to you. It was such a game changer that she wanted you guys to get access to it now because she's going through the training with us. Okay. But here's, I'll just show you. Click the red decode button. The AI will analyze it. And here's who you're writing to. It's written to really heavy A, followed by K, N, and then a little bit of blueprint. Okay. So, and then our AI interface is going to say, well, here's a quick video you can write listen to. If this was an email from someone that you were loading in here, what are the top sales tips for this code? What are their behaviors of what I should expect from this personality type? What are the triggers that move them to yes? What are the tripwires that would have them say no? How do I influence them more successfully? Here's how to morph my copy into their listening. Okay, that's an example of our AI interface. But then on top of it, we built the LinkedIn Chrome extension that I showed you. So I'm going to find you Elyse on LinkedIn. Let's just use you as an example. Elyse Archer, here you go. So here's Elyse Archer. I'm going to pull up her profile. And look at this. First of all, I have two extensions on my screen. Notice this one up here is the old one. And this is the new one that we're getting ready to release that already shows the bank code right off to the side. It already analyzed it. Okay. Oh. So it does it literally in just nanoseconds, but I'll even show you if we were to do the more our 1.0 version, there's Elyse Archer's bank code, but our new version is this one off to the side with this blue thing that sticks out, and it's already cracked your code right when I pull up your thing. So if you have a $99 subscription with us, you can now look at the bank code of any single person on LinkedIn. It'll analyze their profile, and then it will pull up the exact tips of how to start to engage with this person, how to reach out to them, and so forth. So these are examples of how the AI tools work. And again, the idea is to help you. What is the bank code of the person you're talking to? And what are the top tips of what to say to get the yes and avoid the no? And that's the idea behind using the system to save time and make money. Does that make sense? Thumbs up if you like it. Okay. So yeah.
If we have time, I have one more question. So could you, if you have an inbound email, could you just paste that inbound email in there and it would tell you, like, based off of how they wrote it, what their personality is?
Yep. So let me actually go pull up an email right now. Let me see if I have one in my inbox. Yes, I do. Okay. Here, I'm going to copy. Let me just share my screen. I'll show you. Here's my inbox. And here's a spam marketing message. I'm on an email list of this guy. He works with Tony Robbins. Okay. So I'm going to copy his entire email. Copy. Now I have to stop sharing my screen to show you. Let me go back over to our website and say, okay, I'm going to paste his email in my decoder and say, what code did he write the email to? A, B, N, K. And you can see some of these marketers, they're writing on heavy A, but what if I'm not an A? What if I'm the knowledge personality type and what he sent me is like, you're not speaking my code, delete. And then you don't get the effort and the energy of your bank code versus if he knew what my bank code was because he's cracked the code and added it to his database. And then if he took one step further to say, send Cheri this message and send Elyse that message, or send Brooke this message, doesn't have to be rocket science. And again, now with Codebreaker Chat, it's going to be even more ridiculously easy. So that you actually are communicating in a way that someone says, oh, well, thank you for taking the time to actually speak with me, right? And then check this out, Brooke. Let's pretend that this was an email that you got from me, and it shows my bank code here hypothetically. And you're like, well, I want to respond to Cheri in the right code instead of potentially my code. So I might say, let's pretend I'm saying, hi, Cheri. I loved getting your message, and it would mean a lot to me if we could schedule a call and spend some time together connecting. Okay, let's just pretend that that's what I said. You can, before you go sending this in your email and being like, I don't have time for that, and worry about potentially offending me or not engaging me, just run it through our AI and it'll read it and say, no, this is way too nurturing. Don't send this email to Cheri. Okay. And you're like, okay, well, let me go back. Let me try it again. And again, now with Codebreaker Chat, it will be able to do it for you. But let's just pretend you have to do it the old fashioned way, which is what the 1.0 version of our Codebreakers had to do. And you'd say, hi, Cheri. I'm excited to meet with you, and let's sit down and make a plan. I want to make sure we can achieve your budget goals and help you to build a successful business. Whatever, I'm just putting words in here. And now I say, okay, decode my reply. And it's going to say, guess what? Great job. You're freaking on track with exactly communicating to this person in their code sequence. See? So it's like Grammarly, except for personality types. And we already showed you the science. And this is Elyse, where in a perfect world, we would have all of you She Sells clients become code breakers, because this is going to literally, it's like sharpening the tip of your sword every single time you like want to throw the dart into the bullseye. Why not have a chance to nail it and get that yes every single time? We're busy people, especially women. You're running families and you're building companies. And it's like the old song of, you know, what's that song? I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, you know, that one. I get that you don't have a lot of time to waste, and this is hopefully helpful. So Brooke, does that help you see how this works?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Hi, William. I see you here, fellow man. I love it.
All right. Yeah, this is great. I love the psychology and the science and all that. And I'm leaning forward. I really am. So, but I did have a question about the 4 types, the A, and I see that's your lead. How do you differentiate the fun-loving, let's go and do it, impulsive A from the narcissistic, shallow Trump types? I mean, it seems like it's all in the A.
Yeah. And by the way, speaking of Trump, like you can take political messaging. We have people in politics that use this just to try to make sure their messaging lands. I think this is where the difference of emotional intelligence comes in. There's modules that we teach called the dark side of the code, where a blueprint, action, nurturing, or knowledge in the dark side of the code with low emotional intelligence turns all 4 of them into sons of bitches, you know? We all have a dark shadow side, and this is why I'm such a advocate for emotional intelligence that keeps people kind, makes people matter. Don't destroy relationships in the workplace or in the home, of all places. How do you check your ego? And what bank did for me as a human is it made me way more kinder, way more approachable, way less judgmental, a lot more patient. I wouldn't judge you so quickly as you're not my type, or you're asking too many questions, or you're too emotional and crying. Like, you know, where maybe those would be automated responses from normal untrained people. I think when you infuse someone with this methodology, you're automatically uplifting their whole personal development and understanding of people realm. And that just makes our code breakers better people. That makes sense.
Cool. One quick thing. I was one of Tony Robbins' first 3 wealth mastery coaches. So you and I could probably talk shop later on.
Yeah. Well, by the way, I have a number of people who are like, why are you not teaching this at Business Mastery? Because Tony is still using the DISC model. And there's several people that I think are looking for the chance to bring bank into that network, because he just doesn't know the power of what this does versus the old school thing of, you know, that's all he knows about. So
cool.
Yeah.
And since I'm your token guy here, tell me the last thing between the 29 and the 99, because I want to try it before I buy the whole package. It seems like a lot of stuff. And today we just met. So I want to date a little bit before we, you know, go down this whole path.
Yep. So let me share my screen and I'll just show it to you. So this is our basic subscription model that you can choose from. It's either the Connect subscription for $29, which lets you crack the code. So send someone a link to drag and drop those 4 cards and generate the reports. It will let you do 10 of those a month. Think of them like 10 assessments. The $99 one is the all you can eat pass. So you could do 100 assessments or 10,000 assessments in a month. You could code your entire database with it. We're not going to bill you per assessment. Plus, it will give you access to the AI models in all of the different applications that you just saw. It will give you access to our new content drops, new content that we curate every month called Bank Box on new subjects like bank for relationships, love secrets, 5 love languages through the code, all types of different topics, social media, networking, all through the lens of bank. That's our new content every month. And then our monthly deposit is a monthly call where you get to ask the experts anything related to bank, and we can help you learn it and use it more successfully, or navigate some of your more challenging relationships more successfully. So that's the unlimited plan.
Right. Do you have anything in between where if I just want all the training and kind of go self-paced before I sign up for a prescription, do you have like a middle one?
Well, the training is our bank vault, and that's the one that's the $1,999. So
okay,
that's the only way to get that is unlock the vault, and you can do it 4 payments. It's still a payment plan.
No, I understand. Okay, so it's either $2,000, I get it, and I get the whole thing, and then I get 99 for the first month, and then I decide if I want to go forward.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay.
You can cancel it at any time.
Got it. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Great questions. All right. Any other questions?
Ashley had a quick question about when will the new version be released for the AI?
It just got approved by Google, so we're expecting to release it in November. Although our tech team won't let me commit to a date. So it's coming very soon. The good news is our 1.0 versions are working, and everybody up to this point were blown away by the 1.0 versions. It's just the 2.0 just got even better. So that's coming very, very soon. And we're excited about it because once you see the video demos on how that works, then it gets really exciting. Okay. Yeah. So, team, I'm going to let you go. Elyse, thank you so much. At least copy those links so that you have access to it for this incredible group. Several had to jump off early and maybe don't have access to the link. So this is our special offer. Our goal is to be able to have you bite-sized piece your way into this, or be full immersion, like time is money, and let's get you trained up by the end of the year so that heading into next year, you're ready to have your best year ever. The cool thing is bank works as soon as you start using it. So,
well, at least will you post the replay soon? Will it be today, tomorrow, sometime?
Yes, my team will send out the replay since you're registered, and they'll put the links in there as well. So yeah, glad to have you here, William, too. Thanks for
thank you so much, ladies. All right, have a beautiful day.
Thanks, Cheri.
Thank you. All
Thanks,
right,
everyone.
Bye-bye.